from the same place as trap music. This that first react music. They can't hold me back. I'm feeling good cause I'm black music. Can't nobody touch this. My flow, I can't rush this. Put them on silence when I'm talking. You should hush, bitch. I am from the heavy base. My bro called a heavy case. Got a couple.
Good evening and welcome back to another episode of Cigar Sundays Live, where we define, examine, and analyze words, sayings, and phrases used in American culture. Tonight, we will be continuing our conversation about the saying, Plantation Thinking. So grab your thinking caps and get ready to smoke on words with two big nerds with myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the God, Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel. Peace, God. How you feeling?
Peace, God. I'm feeling good, man. I told you, man, like, you know, we got real things going on over here, man. Like, life has been good. With everything that's been going on, God, I ain't gonna lie. If you don't have a copy of 1016 self-sustainability, you messing up, right? Because I can attest to, since this shutdown has been happening, it has 100% been positively impacted my life of the ability to be able to sustain myself and utilizing the tools that I put down in that book, right? And it's tried and true things that I've done and perfected, and it's been great, bro. Like I told you earlier, right? Like nature all around me, goddamn hawks chasing pigeons into my front porch and shit.
Right.
All right, so life has just been good, bro. I'm super thankful, super happy. I'm just, blessed and highly favored, as they say, right?
That's right. That's right. The way it's supposed to be. Sound like you woke up this morning, smiled at the rising sun, three little birds. That's what that sound like, God.
Yeah, but it's been good, bro.
Yes, indeed. Thankful. I'm thankful as well. Another Sunday, we here to have another intellectual conversation to stimulate our mental, exchange insights. Man, before we get into tonight's word saying, actually, we just want to send some prayers out to all the people in Jamaica that have been going through that hurricane. We definitely want to send some blessings. Because, I've been a part of some rescue efforts and some hurricane cleanup reliefs and things like that in my day. And
that is what the Coast Guard do.
Yeah.
One of the things the Coast Guard does.
Yes, indeed. And
very well, might I say.
And definitely, it is one of them things that, like, even if you hear, where we seen major things, Andrew, Katrina, to say the least, but even when you stateside and, you sit with no power, for days on end, no running water for days on end. And those are things that, we may not even fathom a lot of times living in different areas of the United States where we don't experience those things on a regular basis. But when you go through that, I mean, you just think like that's something we depend on. We have privilege of being able to have electricity. We have the privilege of being able to go to the zinc and turn on water, even if you're in the trailer park or the PJs. So, it's just one of them things to think about. Be thankful that you're not going through that. And if you got some family down there, send them some love, send them what you can, help them out. Donate, send $2, $3, $4. Don't send
to real people though.
Yeah, to the real people.
To the real people.
Yes, indeed. So we're gonna take a look at that a little bit later in the show as well, uh, and uh, and check that out during our flavor bombs. So let's go ahead and get into tonight's continuation from episode 85, Plantation Thinking Part 1. We are talking about Plantation Thinking Part 2. And these are our questions that will be surrounding our saying. Our first question of the evening is: the current state of hip hop and rap music contributing to plantation thinking? And normally when you watch our show, we have, what do you think of when you hear the word? So like we said, there's a continuation, so you're gonna have to go back and check out part 1 to find out what we thought of when we hear the word. And now we on these set of questions. When we get done, I don't know how many parts we're gonna have to this. This is a lot of parts because the plantation is a serious thing that always gets reiterated every February. There are a lot of traumas that are still continual, residual effects from slavery, plantation thinking, that whole narrative. So when we get to the end, we're gonna let y'all know if it's bad, good, or misunderstood, but you're gonna have to tune in for that though. So our second question: how does social media influence plantation thinking narratives? Our third question: did things like DEI and affirmative action reinforce plantation thinking, or were they solutions to larger social issues? Fourth, how does the education system perpetuate or challenge plantation thinking mentalities? And our fifth and final, last but not least, how does plantation thinking affect one's ability to self-improve? And always, we encourage y'all to exchange your insights in the chat while me and the God Ali Double L at BK Soul Farm exchange insights right here on the Cigarden Panel. And we're going to go ahead and get into our first question. And also, y'all, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. So if anybody want to pull up and join in on the conversation live, please do. Also, don't forget to smash that like button. Is the current state of hip hop and rap music contributing to plantation thinking? The God Ali Dawood El at BK Soul Farm.
Yes. The answer to the question is yes. Um, I think of two things. I think of two things immediately right off the back, right? Because when we, like I said in the previous show, when I think about Willie Lynch, um, and what all that entailed, it had the old versus the young component. And when I think about that, I think about how hip hop being the only, well, one of the only genres where the artists are tried to be, or well, there's an attempt to age out artists, right? You get 40, you're too old to be a rapper, you're too old to start rapping, you're too old like get a real job. Um, that's detrimental because that forces us to place a limit on our art. It forces, in my mind at least, right? It forces us to place a limit on our creativity and on what we consider to be success, right? Or what successful to be, right? Um, I think that just it just does a whole mind thing that we don't understand, right? And like I say, it's to me that's a is a component of that whole Willie Lynch thing with the whole old versus the young, right? Because it's the whole our parents. Oh, that ain't real music. They're not even saying real words. They're not even using real instruments. What's a drum machine? Like, can you even play the piano? Can you play the drum? Right? They came out with auto tune, you know, but you can't even sing and all this stuff, right? But but things are taking off, and these moments that we create um influence the whole planet, right? The whole planet is on that beat. The whole planet is bopping when we bop. Like, we dictate the vibe that everybody be on for the most part, as far as the rhythm, right? Um, and I think that because we allow age to be a detractor or a limiter, that's a negative, right? That's a huge detractor. The second thing that comes to my mind is the what they call a misogyny, right? The promotion of the just the derogation of just of all just families in general, right? Like, is bitch this, like, just even I ain't gonna say misogyny, I'm gonna just say fratricide, right? Because that's really what it is. Like, it's like anti yourself, right? We gonna call each other bitches. We gonna call each other fuck niggas. We gonna drill on everything and everybody. We gonna put that shit on a dope beat. We're gonna put cool ass dance moves in, and we're gonna do Michael Jackson and Tupac moves and taking cats' heads off. Very artistic, very clever, right? But if somebody that has a, a evil intent was to be as artistic and as clever and put other suggestive things in there, it becomes very dangerous, right? And it almost takes away whatever the point of hip hop might have been, whatever we think it might have been versus whatever society tells us it means, right? The misogyny, like I said, the misogyny, but like I said, it's just fratricide, because I don't even want to put it on men or women, because like it's just terrible. Like, everybody beefing, um, and for whatever reason, we won't allow ourselves to have beef tracks, and they stay just on wax. Like, for whatever reason, when it comes to us, we can't have a WWE or a WWF kind of thing. It's kind of like like society makes us walk it like we talk it, just so they can sit back and watch us go to prison or go to our grave. Which is why I call them looking ass motherfuckers, right? Because they are not helpful. They just want to watch you entertain them while you put yourself in harm's way, right? So the fratricide, the component of it is, again, which is a Willie Lynch syndrome, a Willie Lynch symptom, a Willie Lynch characteristic or trait, that because I'm saying, because we don't accept that as a real reality, as a thing that happened to us. We don't accept responsibility to change that in us, to make us love each other more versus hate each other, right? Because I'm of the mindset, I, I don't believe, not believe, I won't accept the fact that there's always been all these tragic wars, and black people been doing all this crazy things to black people just forever. I just can't accept that humans are just evil to humans naturally, right? I think something happens to make somebody do something. I think lack causes people to take from other people. I think if we're in abundance, in my mind, I have a hard time feeling the need or seeing the need or opportunity to take from somebody else if we all got everything, right? So that's what I got, God. I got the fratricide, right, and I got the ageism aspect. So I definitely think hip hop is some plantation. It promotes the plantation thinking as it is right now, right? Obviously, there's other got the backpack rappers, but even that, right? We put them in these genres instead of just making them all just
Yeah,
music.
like why they
You
gotta
know what
be
I'm saying? Like, why do you gotta be
backpack?
backpack or
I mean,
or or
they
emo
could have a
or
loud pack and a strap in that
you know what I'm saying?
backpack. You know,
And they
like what
usually
that
did.
yeah, like what that mean? That don't mean and sell a little crack, you know,
And
but
they
not
use
rap about it.
and not because they was
Because you really wanted to make it out and and then possibly self snitching wasn't cool.
never. It
You
was
know,
never cool
so you
until
know
today.
until today. You
Hey, guess
know,
what I did last night? I'm not gonna tell you.
so you know, not that we even encourage the
Yeah,
youth to be committing crime, like,
or
but
anybody.
yeah, or any, you know, for that part. But you said something that I wanted to ask you to expound on, elaborate, talk a little bit more about, for people that don't know what expound definition. But society makes us walk it like we talk it.
Oh yeah, God. Uh,
How?
what they call that now? So today, they got what's the new meme for? Back in the day, it was keeping it real, going wrong. Like that whole the black card, the whole. It's kind of like your reason for why you don't like my interpretation for your reason for why you don't like where you from, right? Because it puts a stereotype in somebody's mind of how you're supposed to act and how they're supposed to deal with you, or not how they're supposed to deal with you, but how they can deal with you,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Put you in a
they
box.
put you in a and they put you in a box and they hold you there and they make you fight your way out that box. And in the process of fighting your way out that box, you can take the route of self-love and embracing yourself and your culture, and I'm black y'all, and I'm black y'all, and I'm blackity black, and I'm black y'all. Or while you fighting out that box to prove these people wrong, you can go so far against yourself and away from yourself to where you don't even recognize yourself anymore, to try to appease this person and say, look, I'm not in that box, you are looking incorrectly, right? And that's what I mean by that, right? It's society is a bunch of looking ass motherfuckers and holding people accountable for things that kind of really don't matter, because what you eat don't make me shit,
In
right?
situations, yeah, I
In,
get that.
in situations.
Cause like if you change your actions, then that's who you are. Like, aren't your actions always reflective of who you are? So like if somebody, yeah, like that. I mean, we talking about we exchanging insights, God. Like, aren't your actions always reflective of who you are? Like, I get that, right?
They will be.
So society's making you want to be this thing, right?
I'm not saying
And
that
you
part.
understand. I know, but walk it like it, talk it.
Hmm.
I'm just going off of that, right?
I got you.
And going off of the comment that you made when you say like a person could be doing these things
Hmm.
and then not realizing they getting away from themselves, from who they are, because of they trying to appease this other thing. But isn't it like, if you like, they calling it standing on shit now, right? But it was
Yeah,
keeping it real
that's
back
yeah,
in the day, right?
standing on business.
So
Yeah.
right, or being yourself,
Yeah, right.
right? Being yourself before it was all the other bullshit, right? All the other confusion. Just be yourself. That's enough. You trying to figure out who the fuck you are. Okay. But now when you say, okay, these people or this whatever it is trying to make you be this thing, if you start to, your actions start to resemble that, then that's your actions being reflective of it. Like, and especially if it ain't a gun in your head, then you're choosing to do that.
I agree.
Just like a person would be choosing to say, I don't want to do that. I ain't gonna do that. That's still making a choice to not do it, for whatever reason that they've justified towards themselves. So that's what I'm saying, like that's why I was asking, like, is society probably influencing, because people not trying to
I use it wrong. I can go with that.
people not trying to find themselves and not trying to improve themselves. Like the God Ali Dawood always says, I'm trying to be the best version of myself today.
Facts.
Better than I was yesterday. But if you don't see that action in improving self, a person ain't gonna never do it, because they don't think that that's an improvement to themselves.
Stay on that point right there, God. What I'm saying is, you could be doing the very best that you can possibly be doing, right? And for yourself, you can recognize that you are doing better than you were doing yesterday, right? But somebody else can make you feel bad about that. And if you weak, and a lot of people are weak-willed, a lot of people are influenced by outside sources, right? It'll make them shaky and it'll make them doubt themselves.
Socially.
That's what I mean, and that's what I mean. That's the influence part is what I'm saying, right?
I
And
get
and
that.
it makes them shaky because let's be honest, God. Like, integrity is missing,
Oh, completely missing.
and that's what we're talking about right now. That whole I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm blackity black. That's integrity, right? That's somebody. It can be Mexican, y'all. I'm Chinese, y'all. It can be whatever, right? It's integrity, right? It's you being who you are, whatever that is for you, right? It doesn't just because I read a book and I don't run fast and I don't jump fast and I like math and I like to watch cartoons, don't make me less of a black man,
No, of course not.
right? No matter
But you
what, no matter what
but
anybody
you might
might
not
say.
be, look, but if you around certain groups of people, then you ain't hood,
You ain't, which
right?
hood
Or
hood
you
equates to my blackness, and I'm like, and that's
right,
and that's what I'm saying, right? And that's
right. And that's some, and that's what I'm talking about, where these
plantation
things,
thinking, right? That's the plan.
right, where they correlate to the plantation thinking. And
Yeah,
that's what we was trying to get to,
yeah.
understanding how the social structure, you know, causes people to act outside themselves and lose themselves instead of trying to improve themselves, you know, and being better versions of them, knowing the difference from right from wrong, taking accountability, knowing that I can't do everything that I see on TV like that. I'm not, if I'm trying to emulate everything, like you was talking about in the music, if I'm trying to emulate everything that I see in the movies, like, then where is me? Where is me? Where's the original self of me? I'm just a carbon copy trying to copy everybody else, trying to be like this person or trying to be like that person.
And I'm not trying to give my 2% up to be somebody else when I got a whole original self that I can perfect.
Yeah, God. So that,
Personally.
yeah, I funk with that. Yeah, I funk with that. So we are answering y'all. Go ahead and smash that like button. Is the current state of hip hop and rap music contributing to plantation thinking? Yeah, absolutely. I know you mentioned something else, guy. You was talking about rap beefs. There have been some rap beefs that haven't turned violent,
Yeah.
but we do know the ones that get the most attention, you know, have been the ones that have been pretty violent. I would say are some of the most memorable. But you know, we remember back in the day, like I say, I sound like an old head. When it was just all, you know, on wax.
It's just on wax.
Yeah. You know, like it wasn't really about trying to you know, really go out here and catch a body or, you know, do
Nah.
something criminal.
Like DJ battles wasn't meant for nobody to get hurt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's meant for people to dance.
You know, so I do think that narrative from hip hop does hurt the culture because it's a new diss record. So NBA YoungBoy is out on tour. And I think NLE Chopper,
Yeah.
he got a diss record.
Yeah, he do.
And I mean, it's a violent diss record. You know, it's nothing like the Drake, Meek Mills, nothing really like the Kendrick Lamar Drake.
Nah,
you
this
know,
is very violent.
Yeah, like it's real violent. And I was just like, I wonder why a hip hop record, you know, a beef track, a diss record, like would be so violent versus, you know, just some, even if it was Jay-Z and Nas type shit, you know, where you just, and there was some lyrics in it where, you know, he was calling the dude emotional, calling the other, you know, this, that, and the third, and talking about they not role models and stuff. So like, all that part was cool. I thought that was hip hop. Like, okay, I can agree with some of that shit.
Yeah.
You know, like my boy is, you know, he was busting scripts. He got a record for it, so you know, he went to jail, you know, or whatever. So you know, that's the truth about him. That's just exposing one of his truths. You know, the way his music is, it's not the best role. It's not something I wouldn't let my child listen to NBA YoungBoy.
It's not safe to go to them shows, God.
I mean, I don't know about that because I ain't even going. And, you know, parents do whatever they gonna do with their own children. But like listening to it wouldn't be something that if he had a song about love or something like that, yeah, I might, okay, we could throw that in the rotation. But all that walking down and shooting up this and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, if you made a revolutionary song, that'd be fire.
Yeah, revolution, anything like that. But I'm like, I'm not trying to I'm encouraging the youth to, you know, to not want to be rappers.
Yeah.
You know, like we have enough of that. We want some astronauts, some astrophysicists, some nerds, you know, some doctors.
We are lacking nerds.
You know, we want nerds. We need that, you know, and some entrepreneurs if you want, you know. So if we doing trades and owning your own business and stuff like that, you know, robotic engineers and, you know, we need stuff like that. I think we do, you know. So that's what I would encourage. Not rapping. So, you know, instead of, can I get some money to go to the NBA YoungBoy concert? No, because you're going to, you know, space camp, you know, or you might even be going to basketball camp or something like that. So nah, we not even spending that money on that, you know. So I definitely also on that hip hop culture with the, you know, and I'm not picking on these people. It's just they popping. They are the most popular. They are what's now. They are the most current thing. you know. So if we in the now, then we might as well address some of the things that we see through the
Right now.
now. And I was just telling somebody the other day is I don't know if Sexy Red even still popping. Like she was here for a minute, you know, but we don't need another stripper or porno star rapper. We don't need another one of those from the women.
Especially with the whole Diddy thing going on right now. Like all that sex for money stuff should all just be kind of going away right now.
Yeah.
Like nobody should be promoting that. Like that's 10 years, right? Or no, 5 years. What he got?
Yeah,
Whatever.
he got 50 months, something like
Yeah.
that. So, you know, I'm like, we don't need that because that's what it's perpetuating.
Yeah.
You know, if it's F my baby daddy, then how does young women, that's not even encouraging, be careful who you give your JJ to. You know, that's not even be mindful of what you have, value yourself, or you just give it to somebody that don't care about doing nothing but putting a baby in you, but don't give a shit about helping you cultivating a life for that baby. So, you know, though that's what that song is giving. I don't know if that's what you, if not you, God, if somebody
Yeah.
watching, I don't know if that's what the viewers get from it, you know. But me on the outside looking in, like that ain't, you know, that ain't grandmama and them and big mama and them. That ain't how they was rolling. You know, they had 50, 60 years in. Hell, even if somebody had, even if Papa was a Rolling Stone and he had another family around the corner, she could say he had 50 years in too and helped raise all them babies and everything.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Breaking up as a family.
And that, you know, and to me, that is a narrative. Tonight, y'all be talking about plantation thinking when we look at the way the slavery and some of the narratives from the slavery story was that family were being breaking apart. The black family was being breaking apart. So a mother be sold over here, a father be sold, the children be sold, you know, these type of things. So y'all let me know in the comment section if I'm wrong for saying a song like F My Baby Daddy doesn't correlate to that same type of thinking.
That's a real name of a song?
Yeah. You know? So I'm like, you know, or even just hearing the lyrics. Shit. Just hearing the lyrics. You know, like
It's
you
like,
know.
like you slept with that dude. You talking about your baby
you
daddy.
gave him something that you can't get back.
And now you made a whole song talking about F him and you blaming him for something that you did.
And y'all created a whole life together.
Basically, and you basically saying that you hate this life, made a whole song about it. Oh, that's crazy. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what we got when that's what, you know, where I'm thinking that hip hop and rap culture, you know, and everything with the music is just kill, 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 this, that, murder, this, that. We seeing so many of these young brothers going right back to the chain gang, you know,
Yeah.
going through whatever they going through, get this little money, and then they still committing criminal acts, you know. So it's like that what you were saying last show when you like they put two of the biggest slaves in a ring,
what they call the buck fighting,
and let them, and you know, and it's like, okay, well, then we're gonna reward you, but then we know you don't have enough sense to think for yourself or to realize that you're in a new environment and you have more opportunities. So what you're gonna do is you just gonna take this money, and then you just gonna be trying to remain the same exact version of yourself you was before you got the money, and thinking the same way, not elevating. And then what happens is boom, you realize once you sitting still in the cell that damn, I played myself. Or was it a trick? Did it just give me all that for me to play myself? But then that's not taking no accountability. That's not saying, damn, I had a choice to do this or not. I had a choice to walk away from this shit. I had a choice to not pay for that or put that hit out or do this. You know, I did have a choice to do it or not. Or should we not even, we shouldn't even consider that. Because it's easier to place the blame than to just talk about what I did.
Like if you just chasing a bag though, God, then we not even talking about blame. We not talking about accountability. We not talking about nothing but the bag and whatever. And I think the bag is generated by the algorithm, right? So whatever the algorithm say will get clicks and get views, that's what's going to get pushed, right? And I think that's what people are making, and they're making a choice for the bag, right? And I think that's why I say accountability and all that stuff goes out the window, because the choice is the bag.
The choice is the bag. But the bag's only being offered if you're willing to take that choice.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, shit crazy.
Yeah.
Yep, y'all. So moving on to our second question of the evening. How does social media influence plantation thinking narratives? Let us know what y'all think in the comment section, in the chat over here. And make sure to smash that like button. How does social media influence plantation thinking narratives?
So what I wrote down, so for me, thinking about that, right, I wrote down social media maintains confusion, right? While on some platforms there may be an appearance of a quote unquote fact checker. The fact checker appears to be subjective when they decide to check facts. They seem to have an agenda of when they want to check facts and say something is right or wrong, um, which can give a simpler minded person the illusion that if it don't get fact checked, then it's right. So you can go with it. If you got a lot of views and it got a lot of comments on it, then it must be at least a little bit valuable, right? Because it got some kind of legs. People talking about it. If it was trash and boo boo, then it would just get ignored. You know what I'm saying? Um, with the advent of AI, so everybody forget about the machine learning part of the AI, right? And that's all of us, right? Like that's all of our Google questions. That's all of our, late night searches. That's all of our input. That's all of the cameras that's on us. That's the part that it's learning from, right? And it takes all this information and puts it together in a format that is most intelligible to you, right? It even takes into consideration you, right? It's a computer, a supercomputer. Even it's not even just a computer; it's a supercomputer, right? Something that you can't even really have in your house for real, unless you got like a AC just for it, because it's, I think some of them joints be like underwater and stuff like that because they get so hot. You know what I mean? Because of the processing power is so crazy. So I'm saying all that to say AI is getting so, and it's fairly new for us, right? It's getting so crazy that like everything is getting hard to tell what's real and what's not real, right? Like you looking at everything, looking for little glitches or looking for something that people can't do that. But then they'll show you some Olympian doing some crazy fucking superhuman shit, and it's like, huh? Maybe people can do. Maybe people can do that shit. Maybe that wasn't AI. Maybe that brother just ain't get no deal yet, right? And somebody just caught him doing some super fly stuff or whatever. I don't know. Like all I'm saying is like it maintains confusion that because we don't have a culture, because we are uh because the plantation thinking narrative keeps us separated first. It pits us against us. It, it pits us against each other first. It makes us doubt each other first, especially the people that's close, near and dear to us. Like all of our elders when we was youngins or whatever, it's like, you don't know. Like you too old. Like you don't know what it is to be my age. You don't know what it is to go outside and what I gotta go through outside. Not realizing like we was all subject to the same conditioning. So my dad 100% knows what it is to go outside, even 20 years removed, right? Because the conditioning was set in place before him, for him, for me, so on and so forth, right? So because we don't have nowhere to actually get grounded for real, and then everything on social media, if it got the right filter, if it got the right number of views, if it got enough comments, if it just sound good, like if it just flows well enough, then it'll just go. And even if people don't think that is actual factual, even if it just sounds good, they'll still push it just to be pushing it, just to be a part of the algorithm, just so they can say, look what I did, look at my impact, right? And it just spreads, and not even spreads, just maintains the confusion. And that's what I think social media's biggest impact to the plantation thinking. It keeps us plantation minded, right? It keeps us separated and not focused on our goals, on ourselves, on our families. Like in fact, every most of the things on social media now is like anti-family, right? Um, it's kind of scary, right? Like, yeah, that's what got.
Yeah, I was going to go into that you touched on that, but I'm gonna pick it up where you left it off.
Mm.
Um, but I wanted to comment on one of them things that you said. You said to look at what I did and the narrative of people going with what is, with what's trendy or what is like they know that it continue to perpetuate a negative stereotype or depiction of a thing, of the culture, actually, if I mean what culture that is, of
The
black
American
folks,
culture, American culture is
of black
plantation
folks,
culture,
or plantation culture, American culture, however you want to
right?
look at it. But it is, it is one of them look at what I did things. And I think that does um, run interference on uh, collective works, because I have been going through that in my journey with the DBCHEFT network, TV network, and understanding how, like, okay, here on Cigar Sundays Live, like, this isn't microwave. This isn't um us talking about, damn, you see how that person got shot? Damn, you see how they got beat up? Damn, you see this? Like, we not glorifying no bullshit over here. it is a serious platform, but we have fun. All right, but it's serious because these are conditions, and these words, saying, and phrases are things that we live by that people don't examine enough. So that's what's the seriousness of it is, where it's saying we got taught this language, but we don't completely have a full comprehension of it. We just going off of the things that we like, gonna give a meaning to it. And then people don't prefer to indulge. They prefer to indulge in the what is somebody else doing stuff, not the things that actually promote self-improvement, promote self-determination, self-betterment, self-empowerment. It's not even looking for somebody else to empower you. Like, we here, we doing the work. We chopping it up. We exchanging insights. We're not the gurus, but like we always say, if you find something that you like, pick it up, have a smoke, drop a comment, get involved, engage, say what you thinking, put it in the chat. Because I'm noticing that the look at what I did factor is so much larger than being beneficial factor, than trying to actually give something that is of a substance, like some real food. It's just like, look at all this food I'm selling. Look at all this shit I'm selling over here. And then people have in mind, oh, you must don't want no money because you need to do this because this was selling, or this like this. And it's like, well, if you're not there for the money and you have the freedom to do it, and it's not about the money for it, then you don't have to have that as a choice for you. That isn't
Yeah, you got a completely different goal.
Yeah, like your goal is different.
What you doing it for then if you're not doing it for the money? What? So now you about to judge that?
Because everything that those people do is centered around, can I get $1?
Can I get $1?
Something that's inflationary. So, you said how social media is causing, like, for one, it's too accessible. I think that, not saying that it should be limited, because that would be maybe we get limited, right? We
Don't do that. Media. We need more of this.
Yeah, we need more of this right here.
Now this is education.
But I think that it is too accessible as far as to the bullshit, to so many things that are distractive. And when we talk about how does it contribute to the plantation thinking, and you were saying that nothing on social media promotes family. Like, it's almost nothing. If you look at 99%, there's a 1. Maybe be 99.5, and then there's a 1, a 0.5.
0.5, yeah.
Because everything else is the eyes this, the eye that, the eye this, and if they don't, and if they can't, and if he won't, and if she ain't, and if he don't, then it's so much of that. It's so much of, and what I was just saying, like, earlier, like, it's just so much of people focusing on the shit that everybody else got going on and not focusing on themselves enough. I heard Will Smith say something. I should have, but I didn't. Pulled the clip up. But but he asked Will Smith, like, did money make you, like, did money make you happy? or what was the worst thing about getting rich or something like that. It was somewhat along them lines. I seen it was a, you know, and Will dropped some jewels in there. But one of the things I remember, he was like, once you buy everything that you want to buy, once you have sex with everybody you want to have sex with, once you travel to every place you want to travel to, and you realize like it's nothing else I can buy. It's no more material things. It's no more of you know, whatever you into intimately. Like you done did that.
To the max.
To the max. Wherever you want to travel, you done did that. Where you gonna find your happiness at? You have to look inside of yourself.
Yeah.
Cause the money ain't gonna do it for you. Especially if you done got there and you done did everything you could do with money. So he like, you know, I'm like, it's good for cats like that to drop jewels like that. Because if you understand that, understand that before you get to this large amount for whatever your goal is, if you're working to do it, if you're actively working to do it, or you should stumble upon it and hit the fucking lotto, you know, then it's better to be prepared mentally for it. Because everything else around you, including social media, is going to say, oh, you should be living like this. Oh, you should be doing this. Oh, you should be doing that. Oh, you should have this. Or you should have that. Or you should have this. Where's that coming from inside of you? Like, no, what I have is enough.
Facts.
You know, what I have is enough. Like, I don't need that extra, what they got going on, that ain't none of my business. Like, I can't compete with somebody else. I have to compete with self. And that competition looked like being a better version of myself today than I was yesterday, trying to get more accomplished than I did yesterday. You know, weather and health permitting. But the accessibility of social media and the proliferation and just foolishness of just like, it's amazing the things that I see people post on social media that really like don't do nothing. Like, yeah, it's good to get a good laugh, but it's like it's a lot of things that are just like distractions that have nothing to do with looking at oneself and saying, damn, what did I get done today? What did I actually get accomplished? Did I do anything today? Am I set up for tomorrow to be able to do I have a plan for tomorrow to get some more stuff accomplished? So definitely use your time wisely. Use your time wisely. That's what I would recommend to people, to use your time wisely. Because this social media is continuing to perpetuate all these narratives of dysfunction, selfishness, non-compassion, separatism,
desensitizing,
you know, and all of these things tie back to that plantation where it's like separatism, separate the family. I'm gonna desensitize you. We're gonna beat the shit out of this person over here. We're gonna beat them in front of you. So you're gonna get used to seeing people get beat and get hung and shit. So it ain't even gonna bother you no more by the time we done. You know, all of these things are just continual. And people think that because we not hanging from trees, because we not, you know, in the fields picking cotton and shit, that it's still not plantational thinking, still not remnants. This shit isn't still peripheral. What's the word?
On the peripheral.
Proliferating. I think that's the word.
Proliferate.
Proliferating.
Proliferating. Yeah.
Yeah. Show about words. We got to do proliferate, but
Just because we not sure.
just because we not sure, you know. Actually, I could be wrong, but you know,
I could have pronounced that shit all the way fucking wrong just now. I slowed that shit down and everything.
proliferating. That's what we do, you know, like we at school. So, you know, I see it permeating, see it resonating, you know, correlating with, you know, maybe need to use the word, I know. But yeah, but definitely, you know, we see these things constantly going on, but just continue to not do anything collectively to try to navigate through this stuff, but complain. So our third question tonight: did things like DEI and affirmative action reinforce plantation thinking, or were they solutions to larger social issues? Did things like DEI and affirmative action reinforce plantation thinking, or were they solutions to larger social issues? And before we get into this question right here, y'all, I know that DEI is still around, but it's very controversial. So I just wanted to throw it in there. You know, we could have just left the question with affirmative action because, you know, I think affirmative action no longer exists anymore.
I think these called DEI now.
Yeah, but I don't even think they both the same.
No, I don't think they are either.
Yeah, I don't think they both the same. But what I will do though is I will pull up.
I think they both sound like they should be the same.
I will pull up a couple of things that we have to be able to just give the viewers a better perspective on and a little bit more information. So one of the things that I'm doing now is just with some of these questions, I'm just using AI because, you know, typically the average person now is commonly just asking Siri or Alexa or their phone, hey, what's this? Or hey, what's that? Hey, what's this? Or hey, what's that? So we asked Google AI, is affirmative action still a thing? And it says no. Race-based affirmative action in college admissions has ended in the United States due to the Supreme Court's 2023 decision. But the term can now be used for programs focused on other groups such as veterans and people with disabilities for broader diversity initiatives that do not use race as a determining factor. College and universities are no longer permitted to use race as a specific bias for admissions. All right. So if you don't got the grades, then you might need the sports or some other qualifying thing, because there is a mindset that and it has been created too. So I know with sports, because I was a former athlete. Even back then, it was you wanted to go to Duke or Kansas or Kentucky, UConn, Georgetown, Michigan. You know, if you was trying to play ball, hoop, if you was trying to play basketball. So those schools, all have been predominantly white schools. So you wanted to, during that time, they was telling us you just need to get this certain amount of score on the SAT, and and then you could get a scholarship. But you had to have a certain amount on the SAT in order for them to give you a scholarship. Okay, for you to qualify. Those players were also part of those affirmative action admissions into those schools. They had some slots slated. All right. So I'm sure that in the college and university scheme of things that, now, since you can't do it because, I got to get this young black kid from so-and-so, that now I still need to get this kid and their other incentives. And that's why we seen, like, now I think young people at certain age groups they starting to get sponsorships and stuff at like 14 and 15 years old, like in high school now. So I think that's what that whole affirmative action, at least for the sports aspect of it, has turned into now. But when we talk about the academia part, though, there still has always been a narrative of, like, don't go to, Bethune-Cookman, go to Yale if you can. Don't go to Morehouse or Morgan. Heck, that's the HBCU too. But try to get into Harvard or Princeton or, one of those type of Ivy League schools, So now that those schools still are going to have a diversity initiative, they may not call it affirmative action. They only looking for the best of the best of the best of the brightest. So if we not focused on academics and you have a child that wants to go, we got young people that want to go to college or universities, then you got to understand they're not going to have a shot no more. Like, it's no more, it's not going to be no more, well, you sharp enough, but we think we just need to get you in this environment over here to be, to be challenged with other kids who think of that at this academic level. Nah, you got to be that already. So when we ask them about the plantation thinking of it, it seems a little plantation-y. Because it's like you're going from one place, you like, okay, well, I want to come to this plantation and get your best slaves. I just want to get the best ones. Then I want to take them over here, and then I want, I'm going to put them in this system, make them be slaves over here too. And you say, how? How can you be doing something with some education and a person being made a slave? Because if they just being taught how to just go to school and get a job, what survival skills are they having? We still having people going to getting master's degrees and bachelor's degrees, can't have a functional relationship. We got people getting master's degrees, doctorates, PhDs, don't know how to have budget discipline, don't have a budget, living in constant debt. People working for years and years and years and not having no type of retirement when they get ready to, not understanding it, not learning how to be able to, take control of their own finances. But you can be a really high paid employee. So you at the behest of your employer the whole time. And people think that when you say that, it's like, well, some people gotta work. Yeah, we all gotta work. We all have to do something to be employed. We all have to do something to employ. We can do something to employ ourselves. And going from that one school environment to another school environment that is absent of a skill set of some sort of independence, some sort of self-sustaining skill set, then guess what happens? You subjected to, when we keep seeing these things on TikTok and these reels on TikTok and these reels on Instagram about how people like, damn, I got this degree, I got this and that, and I can't get a job. Or damn, I got this degree and I just applied to 50 jobs and nobody want to hire me. Where is, I got this degree, but I don't really need no job. I can actually just put this degree to work. How many degrees are offered that we able to do that, especially with these arts degrees? That you don't need a whole bunch of startup money. That you don't need somebody to invest into you. You know, you could have a business administration degree, but you ain't never ran a business. Who gonna hire you to run their business? So, you know, that seemed like a setup. It seemed like a setup. Just looking at all the stuff that's going on now, it seemed like a setup. It seemed like even trying to take the best of the best to put them in these different situations, it doesn't seem like that it benefited. It doesn't seem, because we socially, we have a, you know, that's how on the plantation, the house slave and the field slave. Now we have this, and it's out here, we see it, because people talk about it, where it's like, oh, they educated. Them niggas smart. Them niggas educated. They think they know they better. They got degrees and they, you know, they think they white folks. So the same people that you think that got a little education have a different occupation. You think they don't wear that same skin when they just going to, like the guy was saying earlier, dad was out here, dad walked out here. The conditions have been set for dad. The conditions been set for the God. The conditions been set for so on and so forth. So when that doctor in plain clothes, that brother or sister, that highly educated person, we'll give them that highly educated in that subject, walks into, and they plain, they regular clothes, they don't have on, they scrubs and shit, they don't have on doctor tattooed across their head. When they walk down the street, they get a negative reaction from somebody, they feel uncomfortable. And then you get a brother that worked for Amazon, sister that worked for Amazon. They walk down the street, get the same type of reaction. But yet, the Amazon employee and the medical profession employee is still what? Both employees. But one person got something to say about the other person. Oh, they just work at Amazon. They just throwing packages all around all day. I would never do that.
Just.
Oh, they think they better because they, you know, they a doctor. They this like that. That sound like some plantation shit. Still beefing. Still hating each other. Thinking somebody is doing so much better than the other one. Then we ask AI, is DEI still a thing?
Hmm.
Yes, but it's evolving and facing challenges, with some organizations scaling back while others continue to prioritize it. Who are the others that continue to prioritize it? AI. Many experts say DEI.
Yep.
What you got, guys? That's AI. This AI.
This is, I don't know what this is, man.
Ray I. Ray I. That sounds like
Ray
Ray
Eye.
I. That sounds like Ray I.
Ray J I.
You know, I don't know, man. Cause that right there, who is others? Hmm.
Yeah. Telling you, man, the machine learning,
Hmm.
and
Others.
it spits out the artificial intelligence that people mistake for real intelligence. And people get a kick out of, oh, look, I'm smarter than the computer. Like, yeah, you are naturally smart.
Thank God. Right? So many experts say DEI is changing rather than disappearing, with companies shifting focus from initial recruiting numbers to more integrated and sustainable practices to attract and retain a diverse workforce. Some initiatives are facing pressure or have been cut due to public criticism, political backlash, or economic pressures, but the underlying goal of fostering diversity, equity, and inclusion is still considered important by many for business and social reasons. So that's what DEI is. Okay.
So they saying affirmative action was about race and DEI is about diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So affirmative action wasn't about equity and inclusion. It was only about race.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't buy that, but I get it. Um, I don't know, God. Like, so for me, um, you know, in a perfect world, if we lived in a world of fairness, if we had repair and everybody understood the need to be accountable and to have integrity, um, I could buy that the character of the person is what leads and what precedes them and what is the right thing. But today, um, November 2nd, 2025, I'm still seeing um, separation talk. I'm still seeing race baiting. I'm still seeing um, people still saying highly qualified people only got that job because they was black and not because they was highly qualified, right? It's like, so somebody else gets to say, or somebody else gets to have an opinion and champion um, um, meaningless but spirited debates to get people thinking if this is fair or not, in a world where there's no fairness, in a world where there, or at least this country, where we still haven't come to the conclusion that we need repair, right, to get to where the character of our person um, precedes us, right, or is left behind when we leave the room, right? You don't get to talk about what you wish I would have been because the only thing you got is what I presented, and what I presented was greatness, right? You don't get to talk about, yeah, he's great for the N word. He's great for I hate that shit. The N word. That shit is way worse than saying nigga. Like, that shit is way worse.
Ain't it?
right? Way worse. You know, so I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly, right? Like it definitely even even reading that, I didn't read that DEI and affirmative action were two different things. I read where it said that they were two different things, but in reading what they did and knowing how they applied in real life, I'm not convinced that they are two separate conditions, right? But I'm cool with them like that, right? It doesn't matter because it doesn't change the fact that both reinforces the fact that we are in an unfair system that requires the need to specify. It requires because the standard system, right? The standard system is the good old boy system that's been in place since the establishment and inception of this country and before this country with the colonies and stuff like that, right? So that's our standard. Our standard is barbarism. Our standard is monstrosities. Our standard is um retired piracy, right?
Retired piracy.
Like that's our standard, right? So there is no um goodness when we coming from an evil place, when we coming from wickedness, when we coming from lack, right? Because the pirates and the Vikings, like they left to go get, right? They didn't have, so they went to take, right? They wasn't satisfied, so they went to get more, right? That's lack, right? When you're abundant, like you're perfectly fine with the reflection in the mirror. You're perfectly fine with the air in and the carbon dioxide out. Like you're perfectly fine with that, right? But we got monsters that raised us on the plantation. It was monsters that had us buck fighting. It was monsters that was whipping us. It was monsters that was courting us with tying us to horses and raping us. And it was monsters doing that, right? And monsters mentality that set the foundation of what morality is here. So with that being our reality, at least in my 40s, 47, 47 years of being looking and breathing and being affected and impacted and being a force in this world, that's what I've been seeing. Like look at this. Like my man, like not my man, but Buddy just got his head taken off for all these for this conversation,
Who was
right?
that?
Charlie Kirk. I don't know if you can say his name on damn internet without
Oh
getting
yeah, yeah.
canceled, right? For talking about people's differences and reinforcing the fact that we are different while saying, but we shouldn't be different, right? Like the craziness in that
Yeah,
message
he was saying we shouldn't be different.
while bringing up the facts that we're different,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He could have just not just him, but everybody that has the message of we're more alike than we are separate. Your only message should be the things that we all like about, right?
That's true, but who
You should
does that? You're not gonna get no views for that though, right? You're not gonna be able to rile up the
see. I'm talking about integrity. I ain't talking about views. I'm
well,
talking about changing the standard. I'm talking about the stuff I'm talking about right now because I'm saying the standard is the views.
yeah, but he got the views because he had to put the sauce on it
Facts.
because if he came out see like the difference is he gets the views because he talks about the differences, right? We angry black men when we talk about the differences.
And that's the that's what I'm saying, right? That's
You
the
see?
that's the standard.
So like if you talk about the difference, it's different. He gets the views. Oh well, yeah, you know what? That's okay. Yeah, he got a point.
He get a holiday.
But to talk about, but the difference is that Charlie Kirk don't have ancestral history the way black people in America have. That's the difference. So it's always going to be an emotional roller coaster for, especially for black people, because there has been no repair, there has been no apology for continuing the narrative of every single February, Black History Month, here we go, re-traumatize. So it's one of them things where, like, you know, I don't hear, because you said something earlier, you said only got the job for being black. I don't hear Asian people saying that. I don't hear Indian people saying that. I don't hear that rhetoric.
I've heard that
I
from
don't.
Asians and Indians and Hispanics.
No, I'm
That
saying you heard a white person say they only got the job because they was Asian. They only got the job because they was
yeah,
Indian. They only got the job because they was this. Or Asian person say you only
I've
got the
I've heard
job because you was white. Or black person say you only got the job because you was white.
I've heard black people call other black people the tokens. I've heard white people refer to people as tokens. I heard my Hispanic supervisor, Mexican supervisor, refer to himself as the token, right? Like just right before the government shutdown, right? Like we are sick. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like like
But
this,
that's the point I'm making though. It's
yeah,
like,
like it's
is
sick.
it right? So like if everybody's saying it, then it goes back to what you were saying. Like it is a plantation narrative already.
That's what I'm saying.
You know,
That's all we need
if
repair.
if everybody's saying it, if you know, but this is where I always say the trick is. The trick is that the only thing that poor white people could say is, at least I'm not black, or at
Correct.
least I'm not this, or I'm not that, or I'm not a race thing. All it can be is a racial thing. It can't be anything economic,
Because
because
you can't see my pockets, so you can't see how much money's on my credit card or my debit card.
but the thing is like nobody can see each other's money, right?
Nope.
But material things, people value that. People see material shit and they automatically assume something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they automatically just assume it because mature people, well, let me say this, educated people know really they too busy getting on trying to have their own shit. So they just not pocket watching. They just not, I don't give a shit what you got going on because I got to keep my shit together. But for those people that do, that have nothing going on for real, and they pocket watching and they looking and they comparing themselves when they don't put in none of the work to what they comparing themselves to, or it's just as equal feeling comfortable, you know, like some people be like, I never leave the hood, because you like being around people who don't want nothing more than that. That's a mindset. Just like it's some people who say, I can't go back to the hood. Why? Because I like the way I'm living now. And I came from that already. So I don't want to go backwards.
Backwards.
You see, so it's still two comfort levels. But it's one person saying, I've elevated from that. I already did that. I don't want to be there no more. I don't want to do that no more. That ain't cool no more. I found something cooler. I found a cooler space. but it's still on the plantation. because because in the hood, you're gonna get a whole bunch of free shit to stay there.
Yep.
All right. Out the hood, and whatever that not the hood place, you better make sure that you working hard enough on the plantation to be able to maintain that shit, or else you going back to the fucking hood. And see, if a person understands that, overstood it, understand that, then they'll realize this, like, you gotta be appreciative. Like what we always say when we be on the back channels, we appreciate what you have and where you at and what you've worked to gain and where you are. Because like you say, when I talk about not liking when somebody asks where you from, if I was concerned about that shit, I'd be there.
I would still be fucking there, and I'll be a whole different problem for you.
You see what I'm saying? So why does that matter? Why do I need to be in a box of from? Put me in a box of here and now. I promise to love faithfully. Faithful. Your love is all. You know what I'm saying? Put me in here and now.
Yeah, right now.
Right now.
Right now.
But
yep.
That's what we dealing with, God. This plantation thinking.
And that's the problem, right? Because like I said, I everything you were saying was right. Like, because this should be about your work. It should be about your output. It should be about what you produce, what you bring to the table, right? Everybody thinking they are the table. I get that. But what's on this table? Is this table in a room full of other tables? Like is this table useful to somebody else, or like are we just a bunch of tables just taking up space in a room? Like what are we doing? Like I don't understand the point. And because it's not fair, it's hard to even like the good old boy system ain't go nowhere. Like
nowhere.
It didn't go nowhere. So
nowhere.
It
changed. It changed. Like when you were saying the good old boy system, like they changed it. They allowed for it to be changed into the whole affirmative action thing and everything, and the inclusion and I mean, starting with the Civil Rights Acts, the one that got passed finally. Like all of those things. The desegregation thing and all of that. So these are things that were designed. I mean, shit, we go back to the Civil War. They say the whole Civil War wasn't even about the North really not fighting the South. It was really more about
it was representation, right?
The North wanted to tax the slave owners in the South and give everybody, wanted everybody to be taxable.
Correct.
So they didn't want to pay the taxes on their property, So it's like, is that, well, we gonna free y'all. So everybody can pay taxes now. Everybody just be slave to taxes. I ain't mad at it. I know what it is. I know it ain't black or white. It's green. I ain't mad at it. I understand it. I'm making sure that I have, like I said earlier, you got to make sure that you can keep up with what you need to keep up on your plantation, or it's back to the hood you go. I ain't delusional out here. I ain't out here thinking I'm better other than what I was yesterday. That's it. Because that's always the goal, to self-improve.
Yeah.
Always, every time. So let's go ahead, y'all. We have been smoking on the word plantation thinking tonight. Make sure to go ahead and smash that like button. We were just answering our third question. Did things like DEI and affirmative action reinforce plantation thinking, or were they solutions to larger social issues? Let us know what y'all think in the comment section. And we're going to go ahead and get into tonight's
Flavor Bombs, presented to you by DBCHEFTV.
So, I don't know where y'all grew up, but I know, I'm an 80s baby. So we had Freddy Krueger movies, and it was just Halloween. I'm still keeping, it's a couple days past Hollow Scream, but I'm keeping the energy alive. Freddy Krueger got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, y'all. So we're gonna check that out. And then we was just talking about it earlier when we started the show, Prayers for Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa came and mashed up the place. So we're gonna go and we're gonna check out some footage and everything of that. And yeah, y'all, prayers for Jamaica, y'all. Prayers for Jamaica, man. If you got family out there, we send some prayers to them. It's all love. DB Chef TV, BK Soul Farm, and help where you can help. Definitely help where you can help. We're gonna get into these clips.
I think the Dodgers need that chant.
Robert, what did it mean to literally have your name cemented here in Hollywood?
It's not, I'll be honest, I never thought about awards and stuff. I was just grateful to be a working actor throughout the 70s. But,
Did y'all know Freddie's real name was Robert England? Did you ever know that, God?
Nah. So I actually
Bobby E.
I actually looked up to see what was the name on the damn star. I'm like, they ain't put Freddie on that.
What they put on it?
They put his name Robert England.
Okay, they ain't got Freddie though, aka Freddie on the stuff. Freddy Krueger. They ain't got him up there like that.
I wonder was that his only character?
I think so. I believe so. I don't think he played anything else. He didn't really need to. Like Freddy, all the Nightmare on Elm Streets.
I don't know. He could have signed a bad deal like everybody else did back in them days. And
oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. He got the complexion for the protection.
I don't know. And he gonna say something though. He gonna say something. Let's see what he say. He gonna say something though. Watch. I'm gonna pause it. We gonna.
I was just grateful to be a working actor throughout the 70s. But I've spent so much time on this old street, both in the ups and downs of Hollywood.
See, that right there lets me know he got paid. He said the ups and downs of Hollywood.
Because he was in all of them except like the last two or something like that. Nah, I think he was in all of them actually.
That let me know Freddie got the bag. Bob got the bag because Bob said through the ups and downs of Hollywood. So that means he was out there.
Yeah, they never changed him out there. He's been
the
same character, right? They never changed him.
Yeah. So I don't think he was out there struggling in Hollywood. Not if he was living all over it and through the ups and downs.
And the downs.
He probably been to the Playboy Mansion and all that.
Probably been to the island.
I ain't gonna put that on. Don't put that on. But you never know.
See, so
that shit was already spooky.
So my problem with the Playboy Mansion is one of them women that accused Bill Cosby said she was 13 at the Playboy Mansion when she met Bill Cosby, and he gave her one of those Quaaludes. So to me, that makes the Playboy Mansion equivalent to to what I think Epstein's Island was. Because of that story that woman said happened, right? And my thing was, why was a 13-year-old at the Playboy Mansion? But
in the first place,
that seems to be neither here nor there. So
that's bad. That's bad. That's horrible. But Bill's home now.
Yeah, he is.
You know, he paid his debt to society. But yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know. I didn't even read into it that much, but that's wild though. I didn't know they had underage girls at the Playboy Mansion too. Like, oh man. Allegedly. Oh, that was the story. But Bill got convicted of that? That was part of that? Was she one of the ones that he got convicted?
I don't know that. I just know I heard her story. I don't know which one he got. I don't know what he got convicted of.
Because it was like 30 of them, and they was all
it was
100 years old.
It was a lot.
you know.
And I feel like that was one that he got convicted of, because it was like one of the later ones. And I feel like that was like we got somebody underage, and I don't know. It just seemed like that was like the nail in the coffin for me. I don't know. It was just weird. But I don't know. Either way, I don't want to put that on him because I like Freddy Krueger, and I don't want to think about him being at the Playboy Mansion or the island for real.
Yeah, we hope not. But
And I love this town, and I lived in it. I lived all over here, you know, up in the foothills off Franklin by the Frank Lloyd Wright Jr. Bat Cave, you know, which some people suspect was the site of some of the Black Dahlia murders and all of that. So
he said the Black Dahlia murders.
Damn.
I don't even know.
The hell is that?
But but my man is not shy. My man said, yeah, I used to live over there where they was talking about the murders and shit was happening there in Hollywood. I was with the ups and the downs. You see how he looked over his glasses when he said this? He said the ups and the downs.
All right.
In the 70s. Can you dig it, man? Hell yeah. So
I'm steeped in Hollywood lore.
He slashed the Hollywood idea of what a villain is and what he could be.
This is just a dream. He isn't real. He isn't real.
I think it's just this great thing, this collection of American popular culture.
Robert, you really traumatized me for my teenage years. All of us. That's why we're here.
Welcome to my nightmare.
Obviously, you are Freddy Krueger. Are there any projects coming up where we could see you reprise your role as Freddy?
I don't think so. I was thinking maybe they'll do an animated Freddy. You know, I think Freddy Krueger as a kind of dark, stylized graphic novel, maybe an animated series, perhaps something like that. Would be really fun to voice him while I'm still around.
And my last question for you, Chuck Russell said, obviously you are the only Freddy, but if somebody else could do it, it could possibly be Jim Carrey. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think Jim Carrey can do no wrong, but I also was at a con, maybe down in San Diego or somewhere a couple of years ago, and at the Q&A, a fan said he'd heard a rumor about maybe they were approaching Kevin Bacon, one of my favorite actors. Kevin's a little taller than me, but, you know, he has respect for the horror genre. And I thought that was a really good idea. I don't know if it was real or just a rumor. And I know he's busy all the time, but I think he would be interesting because he's so graceful. And I think he would bring a certain grace of movement, stylized movement to it that I think Freddy needs.
So he not really liking the Jim Carrey as Freddy.
Nah, he ain't feeling Jim Carrey as Freddy. Jim Carrey.
But he talking about making an animation.
Yeah, I think he's a comedian. I mean, I think he killed the Grinch. You know, I think like that was the best Grinch.
Yeah.
Fire Marshal Bill classic. Yeah, but we just don't. I don't know. I don't know what he's going by for Kevin Bacon, but
yeah, I don't know either.
You know, it'd be interesting to see even an animated Freddy. You know,
I like that idea. Like when he
yeah.
said that, I was like, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh yeah, he's still getting paid, God,
Mm-hmm.
because he talking about making money right now, talking about the animation and doing the voice,
Mm-hmm.
so he can while he's still here for it.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he throwing it out there. He trying to get his chips and his bag, and even what else did he say? Like a series, like that would be crazy if they did it on
yeah,
Netflix or something like
yeah.
that, and they brought back Freddy, and even if he read all the parts and then he just had somebody act the shit out, like he still might be able to get it
Yeah,
done.
cause a lot of those animations they go from animation to right back to live action. So for Freddy to go from a movie live action to an animation back to live action of the animation, that'd be that'd be fire. Keep
Ah, animation, animation, live. Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
you
That's
know what I
that's
mean?
kind of crazy. But yeah, they can do voiceovers offset though. Like they can
Mhm.
record the scene and then do the voiceover in the sound room and shit. And
Correct.
yeah, that'd be dope. And off to the yard, my yard.
An urgent search and recovery mission now underway in Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa slammed into the island. The scope and size of the devastation laid bare. Prime Minister Andrew Holness declaring the entire country a disaster area. Some towns completely cut off. St. Elizabeth Parish taking a direct hit from the historic hurricane.
Yesterday was horrible, horrific, terrifying, the worst day of my entire life, the worst experience of my entire life.
We saw treacherous conditions firsthand while traveling across the island. Roads washed away, vehicles buried in rubble.
The town of Santa Cruz is completely devastated. A wall of water and rock came from the mountains right through the center of town, destroying everything. Getting back to normal will take months.
Most of the island without power. Tourists like Alexis and Taviana forced to ride out the storm, doing whatever they can to get home.
At this point, we don't even mind if we go anywhere in the U.S. We just want to get a flight off the island.
But that may be harder than expected, given airports also sustaining damage. Water rushing into the Sangster International Airport, alarms blaring.
Now, there is some good news here on the horizon. Airports all around Jamaica are beginning to open up, which means that much needed aid is starting to fly in, while those stranded tourists will soon be able to get out.
I know they want to get out. All right. Ike, thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to pick on them sisters, but they ain't even want to offer to help. Shit, they just like, I just want to get the fuck up out of here. Just, can we get a plane or something?
Yo, God, like so that's why I be that's what I'm saying, man. Like all this traveling stuff to me, like I get it, right? You want to experience new things and stuff like that. But for a lot of us, the inception for why we want to travel is because of racism and white supremacy. Like that white man, our colonizer got us wanting to leave and go places and take our mindsets to these places instead of like, I think it's crazy for you to go someplace, right? And something happens while you're there, like something catastrophic happens that affects everybody. And there's a thought in your mind that you're separate from everybody.
Yeah.
like everybody's everybody. Like the
Yeah.
hurricane hit everybody, but
Of course.
there's a thought that but I'm different. And what they
Yeah,
say,
I'm
yo,
American. I'm
what
from
she,
a foreign. I'm supposed to go home. I'm supposed to get a plane. You're supposed to have. They were supposed to evacuate us up out of here before this even went down.
during the storm, before the storm, we supposed to be safe all the time. We supposed to have a hurricane proof helicopter, a boat,
Never lose
submarine,
electricity.
never lose food, never lose water.
Room
Well,
service.
she said we don't care where we go in America, anywhere in America, get the closest hood. Let us go over there. Like the cat.
Anywhere.
Check it out, God. Like people leave here because they don't appreciate right where they at. They don't appreciate home, right? They can't find peace and solace at home. They can't
Mm-hmm.
find things in their own home to appreciate and love and feel like it's cultural. So they take their ass someplace fucking else, right, and impose themselves on those people. Like yo, like Jamaica specifically, I got a bone. Like I don't like that shit. I don't know if this is really true or not, but every time I keep seeing it, it bothers me just the fact that it's written down. It irritates me. It says 90% of the beaches in Jamaica are not accessible to the. I'm gonna use a old school word, to the inhabitants of Jamaica. Right? They say 90% of the fucking beaches. That means that those beaches, when are for all of the tourists, for all of the colonizers going over there to impose and feel like they are. I don't know what the hell you're going to feel like, because you're not living in the jungle. You're not in the sticks. You're not climbing no mountains. You're not with the people,
Yeah, you're
right?
not in the bush.
So I don't understand. Like every place I've gone, God. Like if I'm not with the people, if I'm not around the people, right, or doing what the people was doing, I'm not necessarily there. I don't even know if what I was seeing was that, or just it's no different than everybody around the world looking at hip hop videos or looking at media portrayal African Americans um, uh, behavior and mannerisms, or saying that New Jersey Drive, the movie is what all like come on son, like
People do drive fast in New Jersey though. Nah.
yeah, but ain't all about carjackings though. Not anymore.
You ever been on that turnpike? You ever been on
Right.
that turnpike at like 4:30 in the
I
morning?
just
This
I
shit
just got a
like NASCAR.
just got a problem with that, right? Because it come like especially for diasporans. I think everybody in the diaspora uh should go be with your people, right? To go fellowshipping and get back in bounds, right? To go, that's like Hofa, right? I gotta put on my back because it's important to me, right? Because it's like we are family and we can't forget that, and we can't let this white man keep that plantation mindset of separation and we different going, right? If everybody's affected right now, right? And because it's bad now, because it's a catastrophe right now, all of a sudden anywhere in America will do. Send me to the hoodest of the most hood. Send me to the trashy, the most trash spot. If they got an airport, I don't care. I get that. I take it. I don't care if it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 miles away. I don't care how inconvenient. At least I'm in America. All you rat bastards that talk shit about this country, right? And I ain't gonna lie, this country is a lot of shit that can be said. But for all you that talk shit, all you looking at as do nothings that know every fucking thing, right? That will carry your ass to a whole nother country, experience a catastrophe with some other humans, and then forget that you too are human. Man, fuck you, right? Like I ain't with that shit at all. Prayers for Jamaica. I apologize, God. I ain't mean to. I ain't like that shit.
Fuck them. And I hope they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
That shit just pisses me off, man. Like I don't like.
Real shit. Because I always say that in the military, it don't matter what the fuck you got going on. Everybody want to come back home.
Come on, God.
It don't matter if you in a division and this person is racist and you don't like this person and you got all these personality things and people bringing they shit from home. Once this mission done, if you in combat, if you in any type of evolution, you want to bring your ass back home. That is the thing you are praying for, is to get back home. So taking that mindset, like you said, taking that entitled mindset on vacation, On vacation, and
That
you
sounds
didn't check
safe.
the, and you didn't check the weather, and then you got there and decided to not be human, to not even say, damn, what these people are going through, I have never seen anything like this in my life. You know, I actually feel bad because as soon as I can get a plane, I can go to a situation and these people are still here having to deal with this. So why don't I help while I'm here since I can't get no plane, you know?
Let's prepare. Let's build bridges. Let's build bonds. Like what's to me, this is like the perfect time to get rid of the Black American versus the Caribbean. Like because we all in this situation together right
I'm
now.
about to go make some family that when I go back to New Orleans, all right, when I go back to South Florida,
You
you
know
know
what
what I'm
I'm saying,
talking about?
God? Like, you
I
know,
can go and pull up. I can call bro. I can call
you
sis.
know
I'd
what
be
I'm
like,
saying?
you
Like
feel
come
me?
on, and it ain't fake. It ain't phony. Like
Nah.
I really helped you. You know, come on, son. Like you can't
That's
go
what I'm
nowhere
saying.
anyway.
Yeah, like what you gonna do? It's gonna be hot. The water you can't drink. You looking for bottled water. Everybody need bottled water. How about if I got a couple of dollars, why don't I just go and buy some bottled water and take it into a community? Here, y'all need this. What else y'all need me to do? What else y'all need me to help? You know? And meet some people. And trust me, they will never forget you. Never.
Never. Genuinely won't ever forget you.
Genuinely won't ever forget you.
Will tell a friend to tell a friend, oh, make sure you hug that man.
And then
That woman.
when you come back, you never stay. You never stay.
You never stay over there.
You always come. You always come here. You
You go
always
home. You go home. Every time you go on vacation, you go home.
come on.
Right? Every time you go on vacation, you'll go home instead of to the colonizers' resort. That's 100% disenfranchising the people. I'm gonna use the word again, the inhabitants.
The inhabitants. Yeah. So you know, it is. We see in plantation thinking. It's unfortunate, you know. We need to pick on you young ladies, but man, we gotta look. We gotta do better. You know, we gotta do better, and it has to be a little bit more consideration and less entitlement.
And I would have had my same thoughts had I not seen those particular young ladies. So it's definitely not about them at all. But
Yeah, you know, but I mean, they put it in the newsreel, and we're reacting to the reel.
yeah.
You know, I mean, we know the news people, they gonna be there and they gonna be ducked off somewhere cool until the storm blow over, and then they gonna go out there and try to show you all the worst shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's normal. That's the way news works. You know, um, they want to make sure that we get the trauma and the drama.
Gotta get that.
Because they gotta get the story, you know. But that's common. That's so, but when you see your own folks and you been in situations where you were on the outside coming in, and you just like, damn, whether in some situation while I was working or some situation while I was living there, while I was a visitor, and had to go through them certain situations. No, man, you chip in, you help folks, man. You do what you got to do, but you don't look at it and take it as, oh, this is them. This ain't me. We in this shit together. And you help out with your resources. So once they get a plane together, because I see bro took the time, the correspondent took the time to reiterate that the airports was opening back up so folks would be able to get up out of there. But the people are still there going through what they're going through and echoing with the God Ali Dawudel at BK Soul Farm said, prayers to Jamaica. And
not to be funny though, I did see
everybody.
One of my Jamaican friends on social media posted Jamaica got the most churches per square mile or some shit like that. They got all the prayers they need is what he was saying. But yeah, nah, definitely prayers up.
You know, I mean, that's cool. Then let you know, if he got that, then tell him, tell him holler at us and drop a link or something where people can contribute directly. You know, because pardon me, because those are things that we don't have. Those are things that like knowing where to actually send real resources. Even if it's we don't be on here asking for nobody to donate to our Cash App and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't knocking it though if that's your hustle. But for situations like this, if you somebody who watching, something, send us the link. We could post it. We could post it with video, and then people can actually send in, and it won't go to us. It's we directing traffic to the link. We don't get no percentage. That ain't our nonprofit or our organization. That's just us saying, you know what, here goes a way that you can help, with that dollar. That's all. So yeah, God, we're gonna go ahead and get back to tonight's topic.
Let's get it.
I'm from the same place as trap music, this that first react music.
You've just been Flavor Bomb, and now back to our show.
Yep. We from the same place as trap music. So we have been smoking on the word plantation thinking tonight, continuing our conversation. And right now we are moving to our fourth question. How does the education system perpetuate or challenge plantation thinking mentalities? Let us know what y'all think in the comment section. How does the education system perpetuate or challenge plantation thinking mentalities?
So the school systems, like you said, every February, let's just start there. Every February, it's all about the slaves. It's not about Black history. It's not about African American history. It's not about African history. It's not about Ma'afa history, diaspora history. It is about slaves, right? It's about the enslavement of a people, right? It's about the suffering and the continued suffering of a people. Is about the overcoming of said suffering while continue to suffer in real time while calling that progress, right? So every February we get negative. It's never any of the all of the wonderful things that Black people have done to contribute to this country, all of the building of the White Houses, all the inventions, all the different patents, all the different things that we have contributed to, that have not just helped us as heavily melanated people, but and not just us as Americans, but the whole entire planet, right? The whole planet benefits from the inventions that our ancestors were a part of, and all of that, with the exception of the cotton gin and the peanut butter, were left out. We might get some hair care stuff, we might get some makeup stuff, we might get some, but for the most part, all of our greatness is left out, and the only thing that we are reminded of, slaves. We were slaves, right? And we start there, and from there we just continue to just reinforce, right? Because then we roll into the 4th of July, right? And that's independence for the country, but historically our people were still slaves or enslaved during that time. Now they give us Juneteenth again, right? And depending on depending on how you see that, you can see that as a freedom thing. But when I hear MAGA talk about it, it sounds like they gave us a holiday. They gave themselves a holiday for getting over on us for another 2 years for free. And it's like a further reminder of the domination and the subjugation and the perpetuation of the status that we're supposed to maintain here in this country to make this thing exist, right? Because the poorest of the poorest white man historically has been told. Hell, we see it on social media even today. You got these old people talking about, at least I'm not a nigga, at least I'm not black. You want to be white so bad, you just want to be a white man so bad, but you're never gonna be a white man. You just want to. And it's like, man, like people are in 2025 think that somebody wants to be a colonizer, thinks that somebody wants to be a monster, think that somebody wants to be a retired Viking, somebody wants to be a fucking out of work pirate. Like nobody wants to be these things purposefully, right? Most people would rather do what humans do and be social. But we don't learn that in school. We're not learning that in school. We learn that the Asians have a culture, right? We learn that the Indians in India have a culture. Hell, we even learn that the indigenous Indians here in America have a culture that was stripped of them, um, and now they're on reservations, and how unfair it is for them. Hell, even our first black president, Barack Obama, made it a point to go as far as to say how much the Indians get treated unfairly here in this country. I'm like, God damn. All right. He told us to shut the fuck up. He told us to get over it. He told us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. He told us
bootstrap it.
He went to our collegiate. He went to our smart people. He went to our best and our brightest, the ones that for the most part will be the ones that we will put our hopes and dreams on and in. Right? He went to the Morehouses of the world and said and talked down to them like, these people are not putting their best foot forward for the advancement of us, or they're doing it for themselves, but perception wise, right? The advancement of us, right? And he made it seem like they was drill rappers. He made it seem like they was battle rappers. He made it seem like they was bus drivers. That he just made it seem like he was talking to a bunch of losers and not our best and brightest. And I'm saying, like, education keeps. There's a thought process going on in this country right now with the SNAP programs being suspend. I'm not sure what the status is of them right now. I think they suspended. They might not be suspended. I'm not sure.
It's in melee.
You know,
It's in melee. It's just people not knowing. They're just uncertain.
but there's a thought process, a narrative that that program going away is gonna hurt people like us. It's gonna hurt black people the most. Like this, they're saying that there's a thought process that that program is an affirmative action DEI program that black people are taking advantage of, when in reality, right, math wise, statistically, when just going by the numbers, there's way more non-black people. In fact, there's way more white people on that program than anybody else, right? But there's a narrative that suggests otherwise, and that narrative is promoted from the education system, right? The lack of fair and balanced education, the lack of of valuable information. I remember when we was in Hawaii, and I think this is something that's done in southern states too. Like, I know I didn't get it when I was in New York, but in Hawaii, when they was in school, it was a major portion from throughout all the elementary, middle, and high school, was to learn about the ecology of Hawaii. Right, everybody, all the local Hawaiians that went to that school, there was a focus on ensuring that they had an awareness, a love, an appreciation for the soil, for the fauna. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I remember seeing something like that down south, like South Carolina, something like that, but I'm not sure. Right? I feel like I know I ain't get.
Didn't we used to have that, the Pledge of Allegiance?
Nah, I'm talking about.
I'm serious.
They definitely
Wasn't that the
took.
Pledge of Allegiance?
I'm talking about
And
like
the apple trees and shit. And, you know what I'm saying? That's what I thought it was. I thought that was you.
Right? But I remember doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I remember they stopped doing that. They stopped doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I remember having to pray in school. I remember they stopped doing that. Like
I remember that too.
Like, I remember it seemed like the things that was helpful to keep us within bounds, to keep us focused on us. They stopped those things and kept everything general studies, right? But then they bring in all these people from other countries that's coming here for opportunity, right? That outcompete us because they got they don't got so much general studies. They got specialized studies that's focused on their success and their advancement and their progress. Whereas over here we get a lot of what I got an uncle, one of my dad's older brothers. He said till this day he do not understand how my uncle 100% graduated high school without knowing how to read. Right? Like 100% graduated high school and did not know how to read. He 100% learned how to read after high school, right? And society would say that's his parents' fault. And I'm saying my grandmother wasn't an English teacher, right? The English teacher was an English teacher. The reading teacher was a reading teacher that just said, "Oh, you showed up today? Check. Oh, you ain't give me no problems today? Check. Or you gave me a problem today? How can I get rid of you? Check." Right? And they just pushed them through, right? And I feel like in other countries, because they got to go through the whole visa process, like an approval process. So in my mind, I don't know nothing about that. This is some Aliism right now. In my mind, there's like a test you got to take or something like that to prove that that you're somebody that we want to send over there to represent us. That's how I think visas go, right? So the people that they send over here are focused, right? And they have a leg up on us because we have an educational system that doesn't focus us on anything particular. In fact, it says do what the fuck you want to do, but pull yourself up by your bootstraps and be productive. Inflation, baby. Like so.
Hey, we're not gonna teach you about that shit either. We're not gonna teach you about
and we're not gonna teach you about it.
We're not gonna teach you about that.
But everybody coming over here knows about it. Everybody over here has not know about it, but
they know about it because they've experienced it in their countries.
Correct.
To the level where it was so traumatizing that they had to learn about what it was.
Correct.
So when they get over here now, you know, they really don't care as much because their dollars are so debased.
It's a win.
Their currency is so debased already, you know, that coming over here and getting some currency, getting some dollars and sending it back over there, it's a win.
It's a win.
So they have that understanding, that financial literacy. They have that. They have that economic literacy, and they know that because they've been through it, you know. But and that's a lot of reason why the attitude is just like, you don't know what you have, blah blah blah. But it's like, what do we have?
I blame all that on the education system. That lack
because of the education,
right? Because we don't know what we have. Like we don't
know what we have.
Again, the Hawaii thing. Like I feel like the local Hawaiians had an appreciation and a love and a respect for Hawaii. Like they understood that they were important for the protection of the maintenance, for maintaining that what Hawaii is, and if you let the foreigners do too much, they're gonna, you know, what they call it, fracking. They're gonna do too much digging. They're gonna fuck up the economy or the ecology, right? And if we don't know how to repair when we kick them out or when they leave, we're gonna be the ones that die once they use us up and go on to the next good thing. So I found that the people, they had buy-in, and it was taught in school. They got buy-in from school, and I feel like that's lacking here.
Yeah. I mean, the educational system, you know, definitely promotes plantation thinking in those areas, as well as I heard somebody say that school does nothing but prepare you for three things: more school, the military, or prison. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, how do you connect those dots? And what they were saying was that, you know, you look at it like single file line, walk on a single file line. So you walk on a single file line everywhere you go. So when I got to boot camp, I understood that, like, damn, this shit is a lot like elementary school, you know, and junior high. It wasn't until high school where it's just like, you know, you don't have to line up to go to your next class or whatever. And then when they said more school, but when they said more school, it really didn't say like more knowledge. It was just more schooling. It was more education, but what type of education was it? And now and then when I get out here and I'm adulting and I'm understanding these things and I'm seeing how we will have these stereotypes that we subscribe to and have these house slave, field slave ideologies that we perpetuate. And you see how it's like, okay, well, you can have this person who's a doctor who doesn't know, you know, how to buy a house, and is going and is taking, and then you have this person who is a mechanic who doesn't know how to buy a house, who doesn't. And when I say not knowing how to go get a mortgage, not knowing how to get your credit score together, but understanding what it costs to maintain it with these things, that come with you. And then you have a realtor who's this person who, yeah, I'm a realtor, I'm this, I'm that, and all this flashy, shiny shit. And then a person to look at that now, people, oh, they sell houses, they doing good, they doing this and that. They don't own the house the first. They don't even prepare you for what's to come with the home that you purchase. They just about getting their commission and getting the fuck on. They're not telling you about all these things that come with it, that once you get in it, like if you don't have a communal effort where people are sharing things with you, that they surprise you and you just be like, what the fuck is this? Damn, am I even prepared, or I'm unprepared for it? So to be in these situations, that plantation thinking is just like, well, oh, because I'm a field slave, I'm going to watch the house slave suffer. I'm not going to share nothing that I know because, oh no, they some field slaves. I ain't going to share nothing with them because, I'm a house slave. They got to figure it out on their own type shit. So it's just continuing and perpetuating that plantation narrative, because it's not, what are we getting educated in? What is home economics? Is that just where you go learn to make spaghetti? We talk about this offline. What good is a budget if you don't have budget discipline? What's the point of it? And these things should be at the foundation of elementary teaching at, at least on a junior high school level, 6th grade. Even if you don't have chores at home, even if you have, it's still parents who struggle to do stuff and they don't teach their kids about none of their bills, none of that stuff. But then you want them to grow up and you want them to be able to do that stuff.
You want them to be better than you, right?
So how you don't give them the game?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not taken away from their childhood. Like I always talk about Nana V on here. Nana V didn't teach me that stuff, but she took the money. When I came in the house with paper, it wasn't nothing for my mama to be like, you don't need all that money. But for me to get out into the world and come home from a patrol and my lights turned off, I have to examine, I'm not blaming her, but I have to examine, where did I miss learning how to do this? And it's just a part of self-reflection, so I could say, okay, if I get in that situation, damn, this will happen. I knew how to go get money, but I ain't know how to be responsible. So if I ever am in a situation with children, with a young person that I'm responsible for, I want to make sure that they get this type of knowledge too, because if something happened to me, how do I know that somebody else going to be there to teach them this stuff if I ain't give it to them? Because we know how many people that we know. I know Nana V went to college. I know plenty of people that went to the university, plenty of people that own businesses and struggle because they didn't have financial literacy. So it don't, the part is like the school ain't teaching it. We got babies going to school getting these degrees that don't even have a career path for real. We got babies going to school getting degrees, people going to school getting degrees, and then racking up all this debt. Not even understanding that, like, okay, yeah, you tired of school, but how about looking at some things to get your school paid for? Like, how about putting some of that energy instead of, yeah, I'm on vacation for this, for the summer or whatever. And yeah, I need to work a job, but you working a job, you getting taxed. You're not looking for anything that's going to help you go back and reduce your financial obligation for your education. That's it. And the school don't teach that. They just happy to see you back, making sure that you paying so everybody can collect their check and keep on going. You graduate, the school ain't like, oh, you couldn't get a degree you couldn't find a job with a degree in, art, in sociology, in political science, business admin. Nobody would let you run their business. So it's like, what are we doing? It's just helping, and then it furthers to the narrative of plantation thinking when it's like, okay, well, just go get a job somewhere. So you went to school working, racking up all this debt. Now you go get a job somewhere that you unfulfilled, and then don't even have the financial literacy to be able to get yourself out of the debt that you racked up going to school to get this degree that you're not using. And then you also out here just being frivolous with your money, being a bad steward of your finances because you don't have any knowledge of it. Because in college, parents give what they can give if they know to give it. I always believe that you can't give somebody something if you don't know it.
No matter how much you want to.
In all fairness.
Yeah.
But then you go to the school, and like you said with Unc, you said that the teacher just kept on passing them. Like, how you get to the 12th grade and walk across the stage, get a diploma, cap and gown and all that shit, and you can't even read your diploma.
Crazy, right?
Like, people should be fired for shit like that. That is a complete disgrace, that allowing that young person to be that ill prepared to go through all of that. That you didn't even say that Unc was special needs.
No, he stuttered, but that's not special needs.
That's not, but nobody even examined that, in that space to even be like, okay, well, maybe he's he has a learning deficiency. He just slower than the other kids to pick up stuff. So let's put him in a class that's more his speed so that way he can get it, so he can catch up. But to not even have that happen and to go all the way through the 12th grade, it's like preparing them for jail. So there's the preparation for jail. More school. Yeah, now you know how to study real good, but do you know how to learn anything? And then we say going into the military, I reckon if I had my way, everybody would have to do 2 years in the military. I would make it mandatory coming out of high school. At least just 2. And the reason why is because when you go in, you're going to get a trade. You're going to get something that you can possibly use on the outside. It is some jobs that are just like, but the majority of things, majority of specialties, you can transition into something, but you get discipline and you get a chance to see if this is something that you could stick with, and it puts you in a career field, and it deters a person from being involved in crime, going back to their old neighborhood, or to where you from, okay, and getting involved with people who where you from ain't about shit, but stand right there and still doing the same shit that they was doing while you left for them 2 years, and you came back and they still doing the same bullshit. So it'll make sense if the testing that was going on with the schools, it's like on the plantation, they was doing shit like this. They was controlling shit. Fear was the tactic, right? So that's why I don't understand, like, why in this version of the plantation can it be, productive members of society is the tactic? Because I'm like, hell, even if you're going to have everybody tax-paying slaves, okay, well, don't you want some people productive? Don't you want more people productive? Wouldn't you want more people, being able to be taxed? Then the government don't have to run a whole bunch of fucking deficits. They can be better stewards of their finances. Then we had less people on SNAP. Then the household, and going back to the music, then we wouldn't even have no need for no songs talking about F my baby daddy. Because people will be wanting to work together. People will be understanding how, hey, if the wife doing this, I'm doing this, man, the kid's gonna be straight. We working together. Ain't no separation of family. Just my thoughts. But I'm definitely seeing the education system perpetuate plantation thinking. I'm not sure that it does too much challenging to it. I just don't see the challenges, other than the perpetuation. I don't see in school curriculums, just looking at the continuation of it, seeing people coming out more educated, highly educated, of necessity things. Understanding credit. Like, you want a car, you gotta understand credit. You gotta know how to pay car insurance. You gotta know about these responsibilities. These are things that everybody want.
What I think we learn in school, God? I think we learn that when we leave this country and go to another country and a catastrophe happens, that we're supposed to be the elitists that we have been taught to be and put these people down. Right? That's what I think we get out of school. Like, because prayers up for Jamaica. Prayers up for Jamaica. Prayers up for our people everywhere, right? That, because it wasn't just Jamaica, it was our people has been affected.
No doubt. So, our fifth and final question tonight, last but not least. How does plantation thinking affect one's ability to self-improve? How does plantation thinking affect one's ability to self-improve? Trying to self-improve, God, through all this plantation thinking.
Yeah, so I think that's what we've been talking about, right? Even though separatism suggests that you're talking about the self, it sounds like you'd be focused on you versus somebody else, right? It sounds like it have that, but it doesn't do that. It pushes you away from yourself and makes you act like somebody else, right? So if we're all chasing a standard outside of ourselves, plantation thinking will tell you that you're not good enough. Plantation thinking will have you saying that you're too dark. You don't have enough rhythm. You don't play basketball good enough. You can't dance good enough. You can't sing as good enough. You might be allergic to watermelon. You're really not black enough, right?
God forbid.
I know.
God forbid I'm allergic to watermelon. I would be
right.
Man,
So
I take that one. I'd be mad. Take that to the grave. Can you get older? And you know, as you get older, you can't eat certain things like lactose intolerance. And shit. Don't start that, guy. Not watermelon. Not that. Live with a lot of things, but not.
Right. So that's what I think. I think the plantation thinking takes you away from yourself, and any self-improvement that you're doing under the guise of a plantation mind is self-destruction, right? And more especially, it might not be self-destruction, but it's community destruction. It's social destruction, right? It doesn't benefit the family structure, right? Because plantation thinking, the plantation was anti the family. The only family that was winning on the plantation was master and them family. Like those people's families was winning. Everybody else's families was getting separated, right? It was she better be good tonight, or I'm gonna send your kids to another farm 100 miles away, or I'm gonna send her to a different farm, and I'm gonna get me a new wife and make her your new wife, and she gonna be mine too, right? Like everything on the plantation was so anti our family structure, anti our family benefit, that plantation thinking only means self-hate. That there's no self-improvement as long as you think that there doesn't need to be repair. Forget about if you think it'll happen or not. That's not the question, right? Because whenever people have this conversation of reparations, it immediately goes to if it'll happen or not, and if it'll happen or not takes the weight of if we think we should do it or not. And those are two separate, distinct questions, right? Two separate, distinct problem sets that require two different sit downs, right? Whether it'll happen or not, we've been dealing with the same white man forever. Like, no, right? Does it need to happen? Yes, right? And the plantation thinker will have you thinking that you don't need reparations. Plantation thinker will have you thinking that all you need to do is pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You don't need the village to raise a family. You just need yourself. The plantation thinker will have you thinking that you don't need nobody else. All you need is you and your island. And you and your island you'll be able to defend your island by yourself. You'll be able to provide all the provisions for your island by yourself.
Tom Hanks did it. What you talking about? That same white man you talking about, God did it.
See?
Okay,
they showed us, right?
And all he had was some UPS packages that floated up, and he was good money.
The soccer ball, right?
You know, Wilson,
right?
Wilson. Yes. I don't know. I don't know,
Right. So
bro.
that's what I think. I think that the plantation mind is anti self improvement. Right. I think the plantation mind will have you thinking that self improvement means selfishness,
Yeah.
means self centeredness, means self over everybody else. Right. Um, like somebody, I had somebody try to challenge the title of my book talking about, nah, I'm not with self sustainability. I'm with family sustainability. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. That's cute. But everywhere in the case of emergency, they tell you to take care of yourself first before you take care of your loved ones. Everybody knows that you are not able to help anybody else if you are not in a helpful position. If you are dangling,
Come on.
don't reach for my hand because I can't put my hopes in you if you hanging on by your fingernails. Like I'm just gonna add on to your burden. That's called consideration, right? And I'm saying if you holding on by your fingernails just because you say, yo, Ali, reach for my hand. Come on, God, reach, reach. And I'm like, nah, I said I can see you slipping. You're not offering me a hand. I'm not leaving you hanging by not accepting your help.
But you might fall with me and shit.
I will definitely fall with you
You
if
might fall with me. You get me shit like,
I think
oh.
I would kind of feel like I pulled you down actually,
You know.
right? Because I would feel like you try to pull me up, and my extra weight, my extra load was too much for you to bear, and you was too much of my friend, too much of my brother, too much of my heart to say, you know what, God, I can't handle it. Which in my mind and in my heart and in my reality makes you a bad friend, makes you not love me, means that you're not my heart because my heart says put your mask on first. My heart says make sure that you safe first, Ali, because you can't help nobody else if you're not safe. It might sound selfish, it might sound self-centered, whatever, right? But I'm only looking for W's.
Yeah,
And
to an idiot who doesn't understand it, then of course, yeah, of course, it'll sound self-centered and all that other shit. Yeah, to an idiot, of course.
all right, but I just want W's over here. So I, you know, and I know that in order to self-improve, I know that I need to Sankofa my family. I need to Sankofa my friends. I need to Sankofa my heart. I need to Sankofa everything that they told me to get rid of. I need to go back and evaluate it to see if I still need it, if it's useful today. Right? I need to look at everything that was given to me by this wicked and evil dastardly white man and
Dastardly.
and and consider and reconsider if it's applicable to me today. Like like a is still a when we're reading in English, and I need to know that. So much as I might not like that I'm speaking English, I need to know how to read it. I need to know how to comprehend it. Right. So if they go and change the definition of a word, I need to be up on that so that I'm still correct. Right. So that's what I got, God. I think that plantation thinking is anti self improvement.
Plantation thinking is anti self improvement. Yeah, I definitely agree with that statement. That plantation thinking is is definitely anti self improvement. Um, when people look at self improvement, I think the analogy that you gave of putting a mask on hit it right, hit the nail right on the head. when you improve, everything else that you care about and you love benefits. You know, and I don't think people get that. I think when they like another one of the things that you were saying as far as like people thinking that it's selfish. We always say that there is a level of positive selfishness. And I have to use my own self and my own selfishness to say, like, when you're evaluating, very similar to what we said earlier, I left and went to the military, would go and visit home from time to time. And I seen people just doing the same things. I seen people that I asked, hey, bro, I'm finna join the military, bro. Oh, man, I ain't joining the army and shit. Like, I'm not either. You know, like, you know, but if I was, you know, like, rock out with me. Like, I don't get how, and I didn't understand that. To this day, I don't understand how I have some friends who would be happy, okay, marry, you know, if I were to engage in some criminal activity with them, if I were to entertain criminal activity with them. But anything positive that I'm trying to do, they don't want to be a part of it. But they would be, I mean, I'm talking about, oh yeah, ready to go. That's the wildest shit to me. So that perpetuation of plantation thinking, which to me was anti-self-improvement, which is anti-self-improvement, let me know that I had to be selfish in my endeavor because I wanted to self-improve, because I did not agree with the fact that if I keep doing this shit right here, the outcome is only going to be prison or a coffin. Because if I'm going to do something, then I'm going to try to be really good at it. I'm going to try to be excellent at it. But I ain't never heard nobody be excellent at crime. Never heard of it. I never heard of nobody being excellent at harming people and causing destruction. It's always a group of people that realize, like, nah, we don't want that. So they come and they get your ass and they get you the fuck up out of there. Either lock you up or, you know, you go meet your maker. So to self-improve is to say, I'm learning from these mistakes. I have to look at myself and think that they are mistakes. So they are things that I no longer value. Things that will not bring me peace. Things that will not bring me pleasure. Things that will not bring me enjoyment. And I have to be selfish enough to say, well, you might lose a homeboy, somebody that you really trust, that you could trust that much. Like, I can't be tricked into the plantation thinking like, oh yeah, like the streets need me because I'm, you know, because I keep it realer than anybody. Like I'm solid. Like everybody know what time it is with me. Like that. Like who gives a shit if you talking about a whole bunch of people that are constantly going to be in the same position, that if you go and you do something for 10 years and you elevate in your life, and then you go back and they doing the same shit. And then you go another 15 years and then you go back and they doing the same shit. And then you go and do another 20 years and then you come back and they doing the same shit. And you have seen nothing but your life go like this, you know, whatever your measurement is, even if the level of peace, the level of comfort, the level of stability, the level of positivity, the level, if you basing it on material shit, you know, when you seeing that where, okay, I was talking about the Range Rover and the Mercedes and the Lexus and all that shit that I've been there and done that. All right. The Plantation Thinking was thinking that I need to have that shit for somebody to see me to think that I got something going on, that I'm worth something. That's the Plantation Thinking, but the self-improvement was like, I don't need that shit. The peace of mind is knowing if I wanted that shit, I can go get it. When you know you can afford something and you don't go get it, that's a different type of self-improvement. That is self-improvement from that place. From saying, damn, you know what? I could go get that if I wanted it. If I really, really wanted it, I could go get it. But self-improving is saying, damn, you're going to live. You're trying to live longer because you're not doing things to put yourself in a situation where, you don't nobody what day our expiration date is. But being thankful for another day. Asking the Most High to allow me to have more breath. And with intention, with purposeful intent. Is because I want to self-improve. I want to be able to get to that. I'm desiring that. My spirit is saying, yes, we want to accomplish this. We want to get there. We want to, yes. I want to look at that shit and say, you know what? That ain't some shit I want to be a part of. I want to be able to say, you know what? I can still love you, but I can't get with what you're doing because what you're doing is not a part of my self-improvement. So I could be selfish enough because the people that I care about, the people that I love, they're able to benefit from me being this version of myself, this more improved, better version of myself. And if I'm fucked up, and what Kendrick say, if I'm fucked up and homie, you fucked up and God got us, then we gonna be all right, right? But nah, both of y'all fucked up though, homie. So somebody gonna have to do some self-improvement.
Yep.
Somebody gonna have to do something different. And that is an improvement from what we was doing because we ain't fucked up no more. So I'll leave it at that. And like the guy said, I was champagne. That statement that plantation thinking is anti-self-improvement. So tonight, y'all, we were smoking on the saying plantation thinking, and now part 2. And we went through our questions tonight. Is the current state of hip hop and rap music contributing to plantation thinking? How does social media influence plantation thinking narratives? Did things like DEI and affirmative action reinforce plantation thinking, or were they solutions to larger social issues? How does the education system perpetuate or challenge plantation thinking mentalities? And how does plantation thinking affect one's ability to self-improve? We exchanged some insights. Let us know what y'all think in the comment section down below. We always respond to the comments, and we appreciate y'all for doing that. Also, make sure to smash that like button and share the content, y'all. Share. And we want to thank everybody for pulling up tonight. And make sure that y'all have a peaceful, positive, and productive start to your week. Once again, prayers going out to all the families and that have lost loved ones and that have survived and don't know what the next few weeks looking like. down in Jamaica.
Word up.
You know, so we praying for y'all, and you know, definitely some words of encouragement. You didn't die in the storm, so you know, I heard this saying, what they said. He said, they say after the storm comes the sunshine. And it said, and then he said, but some people don't know that, like, sometimes you gotta learn how to dance in the rain. You know? So I leave that one right there. And we'll see y'all next time right here on Cigar Sundays Live, each and every Sunday at 8 p.m. East Coast time, with myself, Chef Earl Pearl at DBCHEFTV, and the God, Ali Dawood L at BK Soul Farm. And we are the Cigarden Panel, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace, God.
Peace, God.
This whole publication is all about going from nowhere to somewhere, right? Being able to stand on something so that you can travel in peace, right? So bksoulfarm.com, 1016 160 self-sustainability. Jump on a list and get yourself together, right? Because it is irresponsible to not even know what responsibility means. So get yourself together, food, clothing, and shelter, protection of that, support your interests, and live.
Some say that art imitates life, but we say that life is art. So visit the DBCHEFTV gift shop and get 15% off of your next masterpiece of fashion. How do you get there? Simply tap the link in the description. At the Veteran Kettle Podcast, we thank you for your service, support, and sacrifice to our country. Listen to real stories of adversity and triumph as we give our best to honor our vets. Subscribe today and watch episodes now streaming on YouTube at TVK Podcast, The Veteran Kettle. If it's Friday night and you don't have a date, then brunch with the fellas is your spot, so don't be late. We go up at 9 p.m. with the trending topic news. Smash the like, comment, subscribe, and share the content. Don't be rude. At Brunch Fellas, now streaming on YouTube. Love ain't always easy, and we won't stop until we get it right. So bring that ass to the Love Speak Podcast. Subscribe today and let your love speak at TLS Podcast. The Love Speak, now streaming on YouTube. Exchange insights Sundays at 8 p.m. East Coast time with the Cigarden Panel, smoking on words like two big nerds, hosted by DBCHEFTV and BK Soul Farm at Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at www.dbcheftv.com.